Okay, so you know what I told you, Pada, normal, beyond the normal. So because of this, uh, when I was in the Antonios of Texas, uh, there were warlocks there. It was a huge um, pouring out of activity. It was sad, and um, so the energy. I'm so glad I got out of there because it was really bad, like something that I never felt before. I'm blessed to be out of there, honestly. But I wanted to tell you about this one. So I went, I was just walking. I had just walked through like a very strange presence of people that were pushing sick children, like into the forefront of awareness. And it made me sad, but at the same time, I was just like being, myself, like, hey, you know, this is a possibility that all of these children, do have something going on with them, and these people aren't exploiting them. There was a possibility that they weren't being exploited, but it felt unnatural. You know how, like, sometimes things can be like, oh, this is good, this is for the good. It didn't feel like this is for the good. It felt like exploitation, like profiting off of inventions and studies and like almost like making a mockery of their special needs, like put them on display and have them ride through, like they were sideshows. That's what it felt like, and I felt sad inside that there was that energy there that I could feel it, but I also felt happy because I was alone and I was the only one that needed to be introduced to something like that. And I walked through and I shared my energy and spirit as best as I could, like being informed about the different things that they were like offering for people, as well as just smiling when I saw that they were capable people, not held back by whatever kind of labels some might put on them is to say that they're not capable. So I was smiling at that part. That part made me feel good and feel hopeful about the whole experience. Like, but if I think about it now, that was the day that I should have turned back, and it was the first day. And when I felt that uneasy incongruence, because that's what it was not enough of the good feeling to make a home base. It was too much of the other. And so, but I had decided to stick it out because that is um, something that I have been chosen and chose to do. I believe that there is another layer of activity and awareness and energy beyond just what we see every day. And because I understand the works of an invisible, practical science called physics and quantum physics, I just feel like that it makes sense to me that that realm of unexplainable could be put in terms of math, because math for me is another realm of unexplainable. I'm telling you. But and so because of that, and as well as music, I do believe that the the way you put a piece together has a way of calling um, a specific type of energy and a specific type of, I'll just say energy. Because I don't know if it can be personified into a spirit. The only thing that I know about spirits is that at one point they were personified. So I don't know what to call, like biblically speaking, there are other creatures like cherubims and angels. So I don't know what to call that energy that was, well, we give it little mascots like warlocks and vampires and mythological things. People can even say angels are um, looked at as a mascot because what it is a personification of an energy because we've never actually seen the wings on a human, the angels. So it's a personification of something that we understand. But in terms of the energy that comes with it, I believe in that. That's real. So while I was there, I was walking back from this uh, surreal advertisement. And at first, it was like, it was kept from me. Like they blocked it off and said, you can't go back there, like no walking back there. But I was just walking, so it was silly for them to say that, as a person walking through a public area, you can't walk. so, so I did walk. And then I uncovered all of this, like I said, collected incongruence. And so walking back from there, I was hungry and I was looking for something to eat. And I had, a couple of dollars. And then I also had a point of contact that I could call to secure my safety. Someone I met that said they believed in God and sometimes they go off alone and just love themselves and love their God. And for whatever reason, she reached out to me and said that she would help me if I needed it. Now, if I had of just went alone and took that contact for what it was, I probably could have just remained safe for that time and not went through the type of unexplainable experience that goes beyond normal, beyond reality. And and so because I made the choice that I made, and this is what I'm telling you about myself, being a person of the beyond normal, um, I think there was a reason why I decided to engage with another creature instead of remaining alone because I had come there to seek other entities. And I did find one. And this entity was what I would call a lurer. You know, um, there's probably other mythological labels and names for it in different circles, but this creature that had manifested itself into a flesh being was a lurer. And I want people to be aware of lurers. If I had not had, what I'm protected with, what I have inside of me, then there's no telling what could have happened to me. But because I am who I am, and I'm not saying that I am some superhero, but I am a part of the great I am. So I came in with that confidence, and that entity revealed itself over and over again. And I was, I just observed, I was floored. And some of the things I could recognize as have seen in other people and in myself sometimes as well. So I think that is the one of the abilities of a lurer, that you can mimic some of the and I don't like to use the phrase darkness because in all of us There's a part of the beginning in the Spirit of God that was darkness, and it was not bad. It was a creative spirit. So, and it gave life to everything. But it's in all of us, there's that part of that incongruence that can overshadow what we see as light and life and gifts. So even though in this lure, the gifts, when they were poured out, so magnificent. So that's how I knew it was beyond entity, because the gifts were so magnificent. And in other instances, it had a weakness that was very, it just really took a hold on me, because I could see the weakness, and I could see how the weakness could perhaps have put this entity in places where it didn't belong, because there was beauty in this creature. There was such a life and gifts and comfort in this creature and teachings. But the part that was overshadowing was the weakness, was the incongruence. And that was, just to see it happen before my eyes, was like, whatever the premise. And the premise of me being there was because I didn't have shelter, and I didn't want to be out amongst the, what I call it, the elements, because I didn't know what to expect. This was my first, it would technically be my first day in that particular hotspot. And so, I didn't know what to expect. And it was probably set like that, when I think about the thread of a lifetime, it was probably set like that so that I could have a preparation for whatever may come. Because after that, after seeing that in person, the coming in and the going out, the picking up, oh wow, in another being, to just kind of confirm, solidify that this stuff is real, in the sense of it can be agreed upon. You can actually have two or more witness the same beyond normal energy take over people's bodies and take over their lifestyle. So okay, let me think of what the most part. I was just like, there would be a burst of aggression, and it was like it wasn't really it had no direction. But because it had no direction, with me being there to receive it, it couldn't bounce off of me. It actually went to me. So a lot of times, if you're a type of being that has a field, or you put the field up, so the force field to block something like that, it will bounce off of you and go somewhere else, into something else, or go back into that person. But because I am an open, I told you about the duets. And so because I am a duet, I look for partnership. I look for a duo. So looking for that leaves me open. And the lurer, it was like I say, I'm mystified. So I feel like it was a magnificent creature. At the same time, there was a particle or an ounce of risk, danger. And that was what was speaking to me inside of my antennas, so to speak, my pores, the things that have brought me to a place where I know how to keep myself safe. It's a vigilance. My vigilance was saying there's a risk here, But my confidence in God's place in my life and my place in God's thread kept me there to experience it in its full spectrum. And I wasn't separate from it. I was definitely an active part of it because my piece, like I told you, being a seeker of partnership and being open to creatures in their walks of life and not always putting up the force field, even though I know that it's there, like these energies will come in and stand in for me without me even recognizing that they're there to keep me safe and protected. But I can have the ability to put that out there for myself. But it comes from a within place with me where the invisible energy will pick up on something within me that maybe I don't want to admit, or I don't want to speak it because I believe if I speak it, that gives me too much power. So being afraid of your own power to speak things into existence, that's something that I work with. And I don't mind working with it. This place, I just figured it out when I closed the door. I have to save my air supply. And that's pretty funny to me. Save your air supply. I have a bottle, so there's air in there, you know there is. Anyway, it's clean air too because there's water in there. But this place is filled with paint chips. The tub even has paint chips. Yeah. I mean, what are they thinking? I'm going to tell you the truth about construction carpenters. Y'all can't paint the tub and have the paint chips coming off while somebody's taking a hot bath. That's just not regulations. You know, you can make it pretty. I appreciate making it pretty, but all that paint, excessive paint for a non-para like myself, that might not work. Just to give you a heads up. That's a lot of paint chips. Filming types. But back to what I was telling you. So I would walk through that place. I would feel all type of different energies just shift and come out and you know, and I would be drawn to certain ones. They wouldn't be lures. I would be drawn to them. So it was for the most part what needed to happen for a being like me. But at that end, I always state this. At the end, it was the most unnecessary. That's what I say. It was extra, and it didn't have to go that way. And so if there's something so overshadowing in that land that it causes the incongruence, and that people who live there have just, I don't know, fallen prey to it, and they can't get out. I feel sad about it. Or people who come there to just visit and get trapped there, like nonstop attraction, and can't break out of it. If you have the means, just want to keep on feeding it. So I'm grateful that I did not have the means to stay there, because it was not something that I would feel comfortable with my energy being taken over by that. There were a couple places where I was like, wow, I could get trapped in this place because it was so attractive and appealing to my sensibilities, the type of sensibilities that would distract me from the more important things. And I gave it, you heard my throat language. I gave it a good, a healthy amount of me. And I was given a healthy amount of that place. But that one encounter in the hotel room, and it's slowly being erased, in my mind because I don't need it anymore. but, but that one encounter in that hotel room where the Joker's car was parked in the parking lot beneath me was like my American Horror Story. And it happened to me. If you want to go there, traveler beware. You're welcome. Peace be upon you.